Hello and welcome to episode 2 of How to Win Science in Civilization 6. I'm playing Scotland on Deity and will now explain a few things that are very important about science. So, first of all, how do you generate science and what are the exact requirements for science victory? First of all, science, there is the science tree. So all the science you produce will go into here and you will start to develop through this. This is the campus. This is your main income of science. If you build this, you get more science. You can also build in this science buildings, like the library over here. So once you've built this, build the library and get even more science. When you go through this tech tree, there are other buildings that you can unlock. For example, here at education, you unlock the university. If you have a campus with a library in it, you can also build the university in it if you have unlocked education. So even more science. And if you go further up in here, over here you have chemistry, which has the research lab in it. That gives additional science. This says +5 science additionally when powered. What does this mean? There is electricity in this game. So if your city has power, this research lab gives 5 extra science instead of only the 3 science. How do you power a city? That's done with a power plant. For example, the coal power plant that you unlock at industrialization. If you have coal in your land and you have a mine on that coal, then you have a coal income and you can build coal power plants. Remember, you can build coal power plants even if you don't have coal. It just means they are not efficient and usually just don't produce anything. But as long as you have enough coal, you can build coal power plants. That coal power plant will provide production, in this case equal to the adjacency bonus of the industrial district, and it will also provide for power per coal it uses. That means the city will get power for its research lab, and therefore this research lab will become better. So that is your main way to generate science. There is a mod that self-activated it while I was starting this. I can't believe it. It's okay, ignore that. This wonder is usually not in the game. I just leave it now because I don't want to restart. Of course, you can see there is also this geothermal fissure that also has science output. Tiles like that can be nice. But early on, I wouldn't recommend to work it because right at the beginning, the science is not the utmost priority. At some point, sure, work this. But at the very beginning, there may be other tiles. We have a volcano here that erupts at some point and will fertilize these tiles around it. It will destroy the features on it, so the jungle may be removed and the marsh may be removed, but it will place volcanic soil on all the tiles around it. And volcanic soil sometimes has science on them and can always be mined. That is good. So production and science on a tile is really good. Also, iron has always 1 science on it. Iron is unlocked over here at bronze working. Once you have this technology, you reveal iron on the map. Can be really good to have some iron to work because it gives production and some science. So that's for the tiles. Now, how to unlock the science victory? How do you actually win a science game? When comes the victory screen? What is the requirement? For that, we have to go all the way up here to the atomic era. You see, quite far into the tech tree. At rocketry, you unlock the spaceport. You need at least 1 spaceport to be able to win science. This is the first step to the late game science victory. In the spaceport, you can build the Earth satellite. That is a project, and it takes several turns to build it. Of course, if your city has a lot of production, hence a lot of mines on hills, then you will build this faster and therefore faster get closer to the science victory, because this is one of the requirements for science victory. We can go here, world rankings, and check the science tab. This is the victory progression. At the moment we are all equal because it's turn 1 where no one has any progression. So we go here for science and we see no one has done anything. It says here the first point is launch Earth satellite, land a human on the moon, establish a Martian colony, launch an exoplanet expedition, help the exoplanet expedition travel 50 light years. Next step, build a spaceport. This basically explains everything. Of course, you may be like, yeah, but how do I do that? Okay, let's get to it. Here you just see the overview. For example, this shines in blue if the player has done the little points here. Build a spaceport, research rocketry, and launch an Earth satellite. Then this shines in blue. When the person has also researched satellites and launched the moon landing, then this shines in blue, etc. So this is more to see if an AI gets close or how close you are. Okay, Earth satellite. I was talking already about that because here, build a spaceport. So we want to research all the way to here and then build the spaceport, and in it build the Earth satellite project. Once you've built it, you have done it, you have achieved that part of the science victory. There are other projects that you will need to fulfill in the spaceport to win the game. One of them is the moon landing over here at satellites. So you have to research even deeper into the tech tree. Another one is the Mars colony at nanotechnology, even deeper into the technology tree. You may see already why a high science output is very important to get to all these technologies before the AI does. And a lot of production is important because you need to build the spaceport. I can tell you the spaceport is a damn expensive district. And then all these projects, this is already 3 very expensive projects. And once you have done it, you need to unlock these technologies on here, these future era technologies. They are distributed at random. So I don't know where the ones are that I need for the science victory. If I'm unlucky, a required one is up here. If I'm lucky, then it's just here, and I get that. So they are in here. And the ones you need are the ones for the exoplanet expedition. Among those what are they called? Unrevealed technologies is the exoplanet expedition. This one. It has this icon. Once you can see these tech, then you research this. And you do that again in the spaceport. It is a longer project. Once you've started this, it takes you up to 50 turns to reach the exoplanet. And once you've reached the exoplanet, you win the game. You win a science victory. Now you can say, wait. I need to research all the way to the exoplanet expedition somewhere in here and then wait 50 turns? What? I mean, yes, but also no. It says here, your space race project travels at 1 light year per turn, and it's 50 light years to reach this. What this means is technically, yes, 50 turns, but there are ways to improve it. And what is it called? Yes, this one, the terrestrial laser station and the Lagrange laser station. They unlock with the same technology, also one of the unrevealed, and they are also projects that you can build in your spaceports. So once you started on your off-world mission, once you started to travel towards the exoplanet, you can build these projects to speed it up, to progress more light years. So it won't be 50 turns. It will be maybe 25 turns or something like that. If you have in multiple cities a lot of production and the spaceport, and you let all those cities produce Lagrange laser stations and terrestrial laser stations, just build the one you can afford, then you will speed up those 50 turns by a lot. And once you've reached the exoplanet, you win the game. So you need the technology for the exoplanet project, and you need the technology for those two types of lasers. And once you have those two, you just build it. You just build all those lasers and go to, well, maybe it's Alpha Centauri, the exoplanet. And that's the last step. That's when you reach that, you have won the game. So that is the goal. Of course, we are very far from this. And I said first you need to get rocketry anyway. We're far from this. The early game is about get your cities out, get your campus districts out, and make sure your cities have a lot of production. Now this start looks good, right? A lot of things you can see, quite overwhelming. Now this start is okay. It's not amazing, but it's also far from being terrible. It's very okay. Kind of like tea, which is just okay. What is good about this start? The best thing about this start is this geothermal. Because the campus adjacency, which makes the campus good, over here, it has all these adjacency. And there I can read, it gets +2 science from each adjacent geothermal fissure. This is a geothermal fissure. So if I plant a campus next to it, it gets +2. Nice! So therefore I already know I will be able to get at least a +2 campus, which is good for the beginning. Then also, of course, if I have 2 jungles or 2 districts next to it, it gets an additional +1. A reef also gets +2. A government plaza will also give it +1 extra, while the government plaza is still a district, so if you have another district, +1. And mountains would also help. Volcanoes count as mountains. That's probably a question many people have. The volcano will also give +1 adjacency to a campus. Here is tobacco tile, so I can't place the campus here. You can only place a campus on tiles where there is no luxury resource like tobacco and no strategic resource like horses or iron. While you can place it on stone, you can place it on deer, you can place it on forest. It will remove those. That's why I would recommend, for example, I could place easily my campus here, right? And get a good campus. It would remove the deer and the forest. In this case, I would highly recommend get a builder first, chop the forest, remove the deer, so that production you get from that goes into the city to produce maybe something else, maybe a settler, maybe another builder, maybe a harbor in here. A harbor gives you money. Money is always good for every victory type. So do that before you place a district on a tile that has removable features. Especially deer and stone, when they remove them, they give a lot of production. And I have a lot of things to remove. That's the secondary part that is really good about this start. As I said, you need production for this game. Removing a forest gives instant production. Removing a stone gives instant production. Removing jungle gives instant production and some instant food. That means I can, for example, if I remove this to build a settler, I get my settler out faster and can get another city that can also get a campus district earlier. That is important. And then I have this tile free and can place a district down the campus. And then I maybe remove this stone and chop down a forest so the campus is built much faster and the science comes in much earlier. Therefore, chopping tiles is in general really good. Now, some of you may be like, yeah, but improving tiles is also good, right? Yes. Always improve luxury resources, like the tobacco here, and strategic resources, like the horses and iron. Those are generally very good tiles. Now, which tiles do you want to remove and which do you want to build on? I was always talking not only about science, but about production, because it's key. Let's go in here into the map search and type in hill. Click here on hill. Search. Now it highlights to me all hills. Hills are usually easy to recognize except for geothermal hills, because hills always have, they tend to have more production. A grassland always has 2 food, unless it's hill, then it has an extra production. Always remember, hill gives the tile extra production. Forest and jungle gives the tile extra production. Stone also gives the tile extra production. So I know these are hills because they have 2 production. A flatland tile would need a stone and something else to have production. Plains have 1 food and 1 production, so plains also have more production. If this were a plains hill, it would have 1 more production and 1 less food, for example. So these tiles, these hill tiles are really good. They are production. When I see this is not a lot of hills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mineable hills is not a lot. So that's why this start is only okay. It lacks mines. So the production for the spaceport and the space district will be a little bit challenging. I will still play with this start because I can make it work. And it's probably a good example of how to make it work if you don't have the perfect start. The perfect start would have like a good tile like the tobacco and maybe a good tile like this marsh rice, and the rest would all be hills, and there would be like 2 geothermals next to each other with a free tile next to it for the science district. That would be the perfect start. If you want me to show a bunch of different starts and analyze them, please write in the comment that you want a video about analyzing starts. Then I will create that separately. So now that we analyzed this start a lot, let's go to settling. First, I always move the warrior to see the land. Sometimes this allows you to decide to move your settler or not. Here I would say either go onto this hill to see the tiles over here, or onto this tile to see, onto this hill to see the tiles in here, or over here to see these tiles. I want to see what the tiles are next to the volcano. Oh! Oh, this is sad, because this would be a +4 campus, but it's not. Okay. So this didn't give me any additional information at all. Well, it shows me this tile. Okay. Yeah, and over here, this would be a +3 campus, while this is only a +2. I may want to reconsider where this goes. Now to say this is also fine, and this is also fine to place the campus on. These are all, even this, yes. These are all okay tiles to place the campus on, and for which I go may depend on what I see down here. For example, if there is another mountain and another mountain, or a geothermal, or a reef, then that influences where I place it. These are all within range of the city, which is 3 tiles. The benefit of this tile is I can easily make more districts adjacent to it and therefore improve it. And also it's a flat land tile. I can remove the deer and the forest and work and put the district here, while these 3 tiles are all hills. All hills. And meaning placing the campus on one of those means I will give up on the production that they could provide. So I may be a little bit reluctant on them, while this would be initially the very best campus. We'll see. Settling on plains hills is always good. This, when I hover over it, I see it's a plain hill. Almost always, jungle that is on hills is on a plains hills. Why are plains hills better than grassland hills to settle on? If you settle on plains hills, your city gets 2 food and 2 production. On grassland hills, it gets 2 food and 1 production. Your city always gets at a minimum 2 food, 1 production. If I settle on the cattle, I will get 3 food, 1 production, because the tile produces more than that. If I settle on the tobacco, I will get 2 food, 1 production, and 1 faith. So all these 3 tiles would be good to settle on. I will settle in place, because if I move onto the tobacco, I will not be in range of these 2 fish anymore. And if I move onto the cattle, I will have many more ocean tiles without any resource, so not very good tiles, and I will lose access to this stone tile and some river tiles. You can also press 4 on your keyboard and go to the settler lands if you want to see if there is other fresh water somewhere. Fresh water is highlighted in dark green, coast is highlighted in light green. You can also see here the appeal, which I explained is important for Australia. Oh my god, this tile would be so good for Australia. It has appeal, it is next to a geothermal, next to a mountain. This would be that one crazy district for Australia if you could place a district on it, which you can't because it's a luxury resource. So sad. And there is also the continent lands and many other lands that can be very useful. So we settle in place. Good. Stirling has been built. I will build a scout right away because I want to see the land. I want to discover goodie huts that will give me immediate benefits, and I want to see the land to see where I can build other cities. Because with one city I will not get far. Every city you build means another city that can build a campus district, means extra science. You want a lot of cities in this game. Especially for a science victory, the more cities, the better. Of course, every time you build a settler, the next settler will get more expensive. So I will always scout. I will not go onto this tile. I will go onto this tile because it reveals more. Well, it reveals another mountain. So this is really a good district. This is such a troll reef, because the reef would give +2 science, but it's not next to the shore. If this reef would be here, this would be the perfect science district. This is a +4. This is a +2. These are also +2, with no reef next to it. So I will not take any of these. Well, this is a +2 just like the other. I do not take this one. These 2 could be good because they're +2 and I can easily get more districts to improve it. And this one is good because it's immediately +4. As you see, here I work 2 food, 2 production. I can also tell the city to not do, but sometimes the city thinks, oh, there is a tile with a lot of money on it, let's work that. Don't. Food and production, the combination of them is early on the best tile to work. Because it means your city grows and has soon more population to work more tiles, but it also means it produces your early benefits faster. I could work this for faster growth. Well, in this case I can do it because the scout is still out next turn. just as it is here. So right now it's better. But if the scout would turn to 2 turns here by doing this, then I wouldn't do this, then I would stay here. Could also do this for extra faith. But I would say this is generally the best tile. For 1 turn though, I will work this. Oh no, barbarians up here. That's bad. I think I will build a warrior then. I don't like it, but I may have to. So I can deal with these barbs up here. Now let's see. Oh, that means it grows in 2 turns. I will leave it here so it grows next turn. And then I will change them again. Especially during the first few turns, it's important to check your city what it works. Another barbarian encampment. Okay. I will move here, so I'm zoning it, and I hope it moves onto the flat land where I do more damage to it. Because units have a defensive bonus if they are on terrain like forest, jungle, or on a hill. That gives them a defensive bonus. So if this scout were to attack mine, I would get a bonus. While on marsh or on floodplains, you get a penalty. And on floodplain, on normal flat tiles, you get nothing. No bonus, no penalty. Therefore, I hope he moves here, so he gets no bonus to defense when I would attack him. Oh, I didn't check the city. That was a mistake. Let's see what I'm working. Yes. 10 or 7. But this goes to 4. So I have the choice. Get 1 faith. I have this in 4 turns instead of 5. But the growth will be in 7 instead of 10. I prefer these 2 tiles. Ooh, I could also do this, of course. That would be 5 or 10. But the extra faith is really nice. I will do it like this. And I'll attack this anyway now. If I'm lucky, it goes onto the marsh next turn. And here I want to deal with these barbs before they become a problem. Another volcano in here. Volcanoes are actually quite good for science game because they fertilize the tile sometimes with science. Now he moves in a direction I can't really follow, so I will just go scouting. Oh my god, this land up here is terrible for science. I mean, this tile is good, but the rest is terrible. I'm happy about this hill, but flat desert and incense, that's really, 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 really bad. See, I'm not very strong against this. I will move here so I can at least fight back. I found Auckland. That's a good city-state if you have coastal stuff. I'm not first with them, so I didn't get an extra free envoy. Someone else found them before I did. Let's see what is in the ruin. Experience. Yeah. Let's attack here once and then heal a little bit. Turns it will go to this tile. I wish it would go faster. This tile is actually a really good tile. And you know what? I will buy it because it's the best tile all around. 2 production, 2 food, and faith. That's so much better than anything else I have. So I want to work these 2 tiles. They are really damn good. Once you reach 25 faith on standard speed, you get a pantheon. That's why I like to work the faith. But I didn't work it here because I wanted the production at the very beginning more. Oh, it wants to go here, and Cardiff. I'm also not first with that one. Heal. But it helps me with the barb camp, that's good. I will just fortify here for the moment, and when this is low, I may be able to snatch it with a scout. Here I heal because this guy is too damaged and would take a lot of damage if you see down there on the prediction. I finished my warrior, so now I will go and get a builder to improve my immediate tiles. Over here, oh my god, I made a big no-no. I just researched directly to writing. Don't do that, even if you're going for science victory. Research animal husbandry and mining first, and which one you choose first depends on the resources you have. I have stone down here, I have deer over here, I have cattle in here, so I want both. But because the stone is a little bit further out, I will go with animal husbandry first. And I will also want irrigation because it allows me to hook up the plantations, which are these tobacco tiles. But first I will go for animal husbandry so I can improve this tile. Good, my warrior will come up here and help. Warriors I usually use to clear barb camps rather slowly, and scouts to go and, well, have a look at the land. Yeah, I don't like 2 units being this close, so I will move over here. Also, in 2 turns, I will unlock my first cards. Oof, this is a bit scary. There are too many of those units. I could kill the camp, but I would lose my scout afterwards. And there's a chance that the spearman survives with a sliver of health. Oh, lucky. Let's bring this warrior closer. And this one... No, this one heals a little bit more because next turn I can give it more strength against barbarians.
It is not wisdom, but...
Let's put in the cards. Now, if I put in the faith, then I have the pantheon earlier. If I put in production, then I build my builder and other stuff faster. Because I just have 1 city, I will go for God King first and speed up my pantheon. And here I will obviously go for barbarian fighting and not for scout experience. I mean, having an experienced scout is nice, but I have 2 barbarian camps nearby. I really want to clear them fast before they become a problem. And I think most of you may know how problematic barbarians can be, right? Let's get this. A new population. Well, that is very useful. And, I mean, look at these mountains. This is what I was talking about. This is a +4 campus. This is really good. This is a +3 campus. It's also really good, and so would this be. Oh, you can easily remove the sheep just to get a +3 campus. If you see some spot like this with tons of good campuses. No, +3. Then first of all, I recommend pin it down. Pin it down so you remember it, so you don't forget. So you don't by accident place something else there. Pin down what you want. And like here, I pinned down multiples because I'm not sure yet which one, but I want to remind me. For example, maybe in an hour, I'm not done with everything yet, but I'm done for today playing Civilization. And maybe I play like next week again, and then I'm in this game and I'm like, oh, what did I want to do? Then these pins help a lot to remember what I wanted to do. I will smack here once. And yeah, so if you have a place like this with clunked up good districts, what you should not do is place like a city in the middle. Because this city can only build 1 campus, and no other city will be able to get this campus. What is much better is place like a city somewhere here, city here, city here, and city here. Something like this, because then this city gets this campus, this city gets this campus, and this city gets this campus. Then it means you get all of those amazing campus. Of course, more than just that plays into where you want your cities, and we certainly haven't explored the land enough to make any decision yet at all. But I already know, if possible, I want to get all 3 of those campuses. Also, if you make a mistake and realize, like a turn or 2 after, just reload and play, don't make the mistake again. You learn out of that. You learn if you make a mistake and realize, oh damn, that was bad. And then just reload. It's not cheating. I mean, maybe it is, but you learn out of that. You learn because you see what was the difference because you played different. And that's only good. There are a bunch more +3. I mean, these are all +3 campuses. I will quickly place them all down. Because those are all options. Even this. So in this case, if you have a bunch of +3 campus, I would choose the one that has no hill on it. So, let's quickly change the icon. Okay. This, you can do it like this. That's maybe easier for people. Okay, so among these 4 campus spots, I would prefer the stone or the deer. Of course, use a builder first to remove it, but I would prefer that over the other tiles because these tiles can be mines. Of course, what could affect this decision as well is discovering iron. If there appears to be iron on one of these tiles, I obviously cannot place a district on that tile anymore, which may make the decision easier for me. In here, I obviously want to clear this. Gives me money, gives me a boost, and gives me era score. Era score is a topic on its own, and if you're interested about that, there are tons of videos about it on YouTube, and I also have a video on my channel that explains the benefits of era score a little bit and how to get golden ages. Now that we have grown in population, it works these 3 tiles and I'm totally fine for them. I may switch this tile later, but right now I would like to speed up the process for my Pantheon a little bit. I will stay fortified here a little bit, because I've seen more units over here. I could attack here, but if there is another barbarian over here, or maybe even a barbarian archer up here, then I get a lot of damage. So I will just heal a little bit more. I'll play it safe. Here, this one has a promotion. I will want to explore this a little bit more, but I can move one on the flat land and then get the battle cry. Always take battle cry. Battle cry is the non-plus-ultra for warriors because it helps against melee and ranged units. This only helps when you get attacked by ranged units, but helps against nothing else. Doesn't help when attacking, doesn't help on defense against melee units. While this is a little bit less good in defense against ranged attacks compared to this, it's better in everything else. So this is much more flexible. Another civilization is over here. Bad news. So, obviously, the Zulu are a war civ, and they are close to the spots I want to settle. So, that means, considering the land up here is bad, and the good land is all in his direction, I have to prioritize getting the cities out here. Now you may say, but settling into the face of the Zulu, isn't that risky? Yes and no. Of course, it can be risky. The Zulu are aggressive. But maybe I'm able to make a friendship. A friend cannot declare war on you as long as they are a friend. And If you have a friendship, then you can settle all the way into their face and they will not be able to attack you. Just make sure once the friendship runs out, there is a little icon on the right that tells you about it. Immediately do friendship again. So I will try to establish friendship with him, give him a delegation. If you play on lower difficulty, it's much easier to make friends with people because they're very picky on higher difficulties. His first impression was quite negative of me. Also, you can sell them resources, maybe sell them open borders to make friends or get friendly relationships. Send them a trade route. They like to trade with you. They'll obviously like gifts and they like if you have a trade route with them. That all may make them less inclined to declare war. Also, the terrain plays a big role, and especially here, all these hills and mountains may make it easier for me to defend in case he attacks anyway, in case I fail to get the friendship. If I have, for example, a city on this tile, this is just an example. I'm not sure if this would be a good city because it depends on the tiles in here. Okay, it would probably be not a good city, but I'll tell later why. Defense-wise, this would be an amazing city, because for him to attack it, he would have to move on hills, means your archer in the city and the city, if it has walls, can already shoot at him. And then he has to cross the river, is out of movement again, and you can shoot him again. And then he has to attack the city across a river. If you melee attack across a river, you get a big penalty on your melee attack, so he takes a lot of damage back, and then you can shoot him again. That's why this is really good. And also he has only 3 tiles he can attack from. That makes it quite good for you. You could also place a melee unit maybe here and here. A melee unit here that he attacks from here has a river crossing. And your unit is on a jungle hill, so it gets a defense bonus. Or even a unit here would be good. Gets the defense bonus for the forest hill and maybe the river crossing, because the AI doesn't think much where it moves. It just moves closer and then attacks. So the AI is rather likely to move onto this flat land where it is rather vulnerable. Of course, remember, if your melee unit is here and you attack into this, you will get the river crossing penalty. And if you kill it, you will stand on a bad tile. Always remember that. That's why melee units are usually best. Like here, just fortify them on rough terrain and let the enemy attack into you. While you have maybe an archer standing behind it that shoots across from safe distance. Archers combined with a fortified warriors are early on your very best defense. Especially on higher difficulty, that works out splendid. Of course, on lower difficulty, it's also amazing. But let's be real, on lower difficulty, the AI has a little bit of less units. So you can allow yourself a little bit more forward settling, especially if you are quick. Now, the reason why I probably won't choose this as a city is the 3 tiles minimum distance. If we go number 4, settler lens, I see within 3 tiles all the tiles are red. All the tiles with 3 tiles around my cities are red. Because there has to be at least 3 tiles between cities to settle. Therefore, if I settle this, all tiles around within 3 tiles cannot be settled. And I probably want a city down here, a coastal city. Maybe, let's say, if I get a city here, interesting point, this city could get this district as well, so I could have 2 of those campus district. Interesting. And then I can't have this city, but I can place a city here, 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 one of these tiles. Could even place it on the cattle and have rivers around it, so anything that attacks it gets a river crossing penalty, which is quite good. The downside is it would be on flat land, which means I do not get the production bonus that I would get on a jungle hill. Like here, this would be a really productive city. While here I don't get the many river crossings, it's still a decent tile to defend from, because he has only 2 tiles he can attack into the city, and I can put like archers on here, and if he ever dares to move here, he gets shot from all sides. Heck, even if he just moves here, your archers from these tiles can shoot him. So I planned a defense against Ulundi already. Quickly move here. Oh, more mountains. Yes, I'm even less inclined to settle here now because there are so many tiles here. I mean, yes, mountains are great for adjacency for your districts, but you can't work a mountain. It has no tile yields. In case you are wondering how you see this, here, the grid, icons, the yields. I like to have them all on. Also, this up here, if you go here, options, interface, show yield in hub written, always show. Because if you have it like this, you only have the little faces here. But here, options, interface, always show, confirm. And you always see the resource comparison. Very useful. I will keep healing a little bit. This guy is getting on my nerves, but I have my builder out, and I think I will improve the rice. And then I will improve the cattle. And if I have horses, I will improve that. Next, I will build a settler. Because I want to grab this land real quick. I have a warrior that is promoted already here. That's a great defense early on. And I want the cities out also because of loyalty reason, because I already get loyalty pressure here. And these are just the best cities. Could also settle the city here. If these are all workable tiles, then this is a consideration being worth. I would love cities up here, but that's so close to his capital, it's probably not possible. So let's scout a little bit more. Go for next turn. Okay. I will have to send a unit to this tile to see what's in here. This is a +4 campus. Although I would probably not recommend it. I wouldn't recommend a campus next to a volcano, even though the volcano counts as mountain. Because every time the volcano erupts, your campus will get damaged and therefore do no output until you repair it. That's quite bad. It means you have to put production into repairing the campus every now and then every now and then you have a few turns where the campus doesn't do anything. Unless, of course, let's imagine all these mountains up here wouldn't be here, and these would be the only +4 campus. Then I would say, well, fuck it. Risk it and place the campus there anywhere. If that would be my only +4 campus, you will go for it even though it's next to a volcano. These geothermals are so troll placed. Also, I see another... Oh, okay. Interesting. He has the better start than we have. Because this is also a +4 campus. But because the city-state is so badly placed, a city here would be great, right? Only -3 loyalty. The problem is two tiles. I would have to move this, but where? I want to stay on fresh water because of housing. So the city can grow faster. A city not on fresh water gets a lot less housing, and therefore the growth will be limited very soon. Now you could say, just move it up here, right? That would work. Would work with this one, and then I have to move this. I would still have to move this. And also the loyalty here is a problem. So I have to see if I can get a city here. Of course, I can always shift this or this city by 1 off the river and get an aqueduct to get that river freshwater housing back. But that means the city will be slower early on. So I'm not sure how I want to settle. I mean, I would love to settle 3 cities in here, because they can have all really good campuses. But it's all contested land. That's really bad. If you don't like this, if this is already a bit too challenging for you, feel free to restart it. There's no shame in that. And I can't improve the tile now because of the barbs. Also, having barbs spawn on me is so bad. So this land is very difficult. And there's a great chance that this is a scrap game. That I may not be able to pull it off. I will go now for mining because it allows me to chop forests and to improve the stone. Yes, I have to move again away from this and my warrior closer so he can deal with these. At least they're on marshes. Now I can choose a pantheon. What pantheon is good for science? Well, obviously Divine Spark is good for science. If you intend to go for a science victory, I would recommend completely ignore religion. Yes, there are some religious beliefs that give you benefits towards science, but how do you get a religion? By building a holy site. While the holy sites may give me a religion, it gives me nothing else, and it costs me a district spot. It means it costs me a tile. The holy site has also mountain adjacency, which I really want to save for my campus, and I really don't want to use a district for faith if I can have a district for science, a district for money, a district for culture. District for money is good because I can purchase builders and settlers to get more production, to get more tiles, to get more science. I may be able to purchase some of the later game buildings. I can purchase universities and stuff, so I don't need to produce them, therefore getting faster the good science. Culture is good to get the good cards. For example, up here is the card that doubles the science adjacency from campus, and then over here at the Enlightenment there is this card that increases your science further. I want these cards early to push my science up. Therefore, campus, culture, commercial are the good early game districts. And of course also some industrial districts, because I said later on your production will be important. And later on I also will need a district for spaceport. So a holy site is really not that beneficial. Therefore getting a religion is not that important. A pantheon will always be important because you will have it even when someone else spreads their religion to you. Therefore Divine Spark is quite good because you get more great people for science. I can also check what else I have. I have some plantations, so maybe culture from plantations could be okay. I have some coastal resources. I could go for production from fishing boats. You may say, oh, you could go for faith from quarries because you have stone. No, these stones are all on hills. Remove it for a production boost and build a mine, because a mine gives more production than a quarry, even on a hill. Especially on a hill, because on a hill I can build a mine. On flatland stone you could argue for keeping the stone for production, but on a hill always remove it and build a mine. There's a small argument for fire goddess because there are 2 volcanoes. I could go for the religious settlements to get a free settler. That would be also really good because I have so much land that is contested that I want to settle early. So in this situation, religious settlement is what I would recommend, even over the Divine Spark. If Zulu wouldn't be here and all this land therefore is contested, I would say go for Divine Spark. But because we need to settle this early, I would recommend religious settlements. Of course, if one of them isn't there anymore, you obviously pick the other one. And I will move this settler down here, so he can go around here. Why not around here? Maybe this is faster. Even if this is faster, I think it's about the same speed. This is safer. I have the stronger warrior here. I also have a scout here. And there are no barbs down here, because I cleared the barb camp already. You keep an eye on the Zulu, while you move up a little bit. And I will keep building this settler, which just got more expensive because I got one for free. It's not technically for free because it counts as a settler that has been built. Let's go here, improve this. Gives me a boost and a decent tile to work. 4 food, 1 production is fine. I have the Pantheon, so I do not want to work this anymore. I will go here on production and food focus, so it gets these 2/2 tiles, which are really good. Because there are many units around again, I will just heal a bit. And move here. I want to see the land here more. Oh, this is very bad. This is, if he goes in and settles here, it would be, this would turn into a war game. Okay. I basically have to attack him because he is on marsh, therefore he gets -2, unfavorable terrain. Also, it gives me the promotion, so I can heal next turn with the promotion. It damages him, making him do less damage to me. If I were not on good defensive terrain, and he would be on defensive terrain, I would have moved away into my land, because both can attack me next turn. But because I'm on defensive terrain, I'm fine with that. I will move closer to him and I try to block him. He sadly escorts this, and I really would like to have a city here. If he settles like off the river, in here, then the only way to get these cities is by killing the Zulu. And that's probably not the best way to get a science victory. I mean, it's still doable, but it makes the game much slower and much harder. So there is no shame in restarting. And maybe it would be already the best idea to restart and look for a better start. Also because this is if this weren't Deity, I would probably even consider declaring war on him and just smack this down. But on Deity he gets quite a bit of bonus combat strength. Now I will kill this. I know I will stand myself on the marsh, but this warrior can't reach me when I'm here because there is rough terrain and he needs to move on it first and only then he can attack, which gives me another turn to maybe move back on favorable terrain again. I will not improve the deer because I want to remove the deer at some point. Move this closer. Game, what do you do? I will stay in place for a turn. And yeah, I will not block the flat tile here. Because if he moves on that, I could consider attacking him. Yeah, he moves on that. He wants to settle on the exact same river I want to settle. And that is very bad.
Who deserves more credit than the wife of a coal miner?
This is so bad. He could even settle in place. If he does that, then it's basically over. Because then he blocks all the land in here to be settled. And it would be okay if the land up here would be good. But this is terrible land. I don't even want a city over here. Flat desert? Really? And all the mountains are in here. But as you see, the fresh water is down here. These are the best 2 spots by far. An okay spot may be up here. But that's also quite close to him. So I will go for the risk and try to snatch the settler. Attack him here. Because now he's on flat land and I'm on the hill. So I may be able to pull it off. Next, I could go for writing, but to go for a science win doesn't mean you have to place the district super early. Right now, I haven't removed this yet. I'll move this one back, and this one will do nothing for a turn. I haven't removed this deer forest yet, so I can't place the campus anyway. And all the other spots, most of them have resources on them that I need to remove first. So going for this right now doesn't give me anything. While this would uncover for me some iron that I could go for, that could be useful to work. And also it's useful to know where it is. So I will go for that first. At the moment my priority is not placing campus. At the moment my priority is getting the cities that will let me place the good campuses. Because even if I have, let's say, these two good campuses here, if that's about it, I've already lost. You cannot, I wouldn't recommend to try winning a science victory with just 2 or 3 cities. I would recommend 8 to 12 cities. Yeah, that's now a problem. That's now a big problem.
That's the positive aspect.
Could attack with my scout. But then this guy stands on the marsh. Maybe I can bait him anyway. Let's see. I will take some risks here now. If I would settle here, it would block all but this tile. So I will go here, presuming him to walk on one of these tiles. If the worst case is he settles in place and kills my scout. That's the worst case that could happen. Also always try to get the boosts in the civic and technology tree, and if I don't have the boost yet but would start to research over the highlighted part, then I switch to something else, especially if I know I can get the boost soon. That's generally good advice for that. Here I just wait. I need to heal the warrior a little bit. Now I haven't seen where he moved, but he moved. Oh my god. Are you for real, Auckland? He moved there, okay. Here I want to move to safety, I guess. Or here so I can maybe block him there. If I settle now, I prevent him from settling. Gives me error score because it's a new continent, that's good. I'm on Avalonia and this is Azania. And if I go in the settler lens, he can't settle here anymore because it's too close to Aberdeen. I cock blocked him here. And my warrior is exactly in the best spot. If I'm lucky, he just tries to settle. If I'm lucky, he tries to settle here because it's free and it is settleable and it is good, which means he may move here. Okay, I built another settler. Since we're at war and if I get these 2 spots, I'm quite fine for the moment. I think I will go for a slinger real quickly and get more settlers later. Also, every settler costs population, of course, so I did not grow. I will also quickly go to work on this for 3 turns and then switch back to the 2 production tiles. In here, I will also build a slinger, just for the moment. We are at war, we have a close neighbor, it's good to have some units. In this case, I could go for... I mean, the safest research would be go for archery, so I can upgrade the slingers. I'm building slingers, I'm at war, I have a barbarian encampment up here. That's the safe play to do. So I will go for that for the moment. This guy will wait with improving 1 more turn because I want this one to heal. The settler will come again down here, just for safety reasons. I don't consider this a good tile because it doesn't have many tiles to work and it shares too many tiles with the capital and this city. If this were not coast with barely any resource on it, but actually more hills and maybe a mountain down here, then I would totally settle this. Actually, I can do a trick here. This barbarian has been doing nothing. I will move my builder onto this bad defensive terrain in the hopes that this guy moves here to snatch the builder and then is on bad terrain, and then my warrior can move and kill it. He moved one down. Did he rethink his option, or does he just want to settle off river? I will heal here and will send this guy up here. And I'll slowly... No. I will slowly bring my settler closer. Now here exactly what I wanted to happen happened. Yoink. My builder is back mine, the enemy warrior is dead, and I have mine here. Barely took any damage. Great. Someone built the Great Bath. Also, you may have noticed I haven't mentioned a wonder. I will go through the wonders in the next episode. And actually, I will make a cut in here and see you next episode.